Hello and hi there. Okay, so we're looking at content marketing right now. So we're basically going to look at what it is. What is this? I talked about it earlier, but we'll look at a couple of videos and then you'll be able to, understand a bit more from what I explained earlier. Okay.
How do you create buzz about a company with low brand awareness through engaging and relevant content while minimizing spend on distribution? For Swedish Oreo, the solution was to hijack a viral car ad and take advantage from the interest in social media. But let's take it from the beginning. Saab Automobile Parts changed its name in 2013 to Oreo, while also expanding its business to offer spare parts for many other manufacturers as well. But as a new brand in an extremely competitive industry, it's a real challenge to break through. In January 2015, the seed is sown for a successful brand building campaign based on humor, authenticity and a battered old car.
Visst luktar det bränt?
The person who unwittingly starts the whole process is Magnus Eriksson. When he puts out the car ad, Saab 95 Estate, you will regret buying it, where he humorously slates the car. The ad goes viral on social media.
Man får köra med den en månad.
Oreo saw an incredible opportunity. We're going to refurbish the car to as close as its original condition as possible and draw attention to the project with good content. Oreo, along with Spoon, quickly developed a social media campaign with Facebook as the main channel. The aim was to make the campaign viral the organic way. The strategy focused on building up expectations from day to day with a wide variety of content including videos, slideshows and articles. What happens to the car? How is work progressing? Spoon devised a strategy for how and when to feed influencers such as bloggers and various media with relevant content. The climax of the campaign was a film of the entire restoration of the car with a surprising twist. In conjunction with the release of the film came a large press pack. The result of the campaign, the films received over 500,000 organic views on Facebook and YouTube. The number of followers on Oreo's Facebook page increased by 130%. During the campaign, traffic to Oreo's site increased by 1,600%. Overall, the campaign had a big impact in both the mainstream and trade media, as well as in Swedish and international Saab forums. It also generated lots of activity on social media, with an explosion of comments and shares accompanying all the filmed material.
Svårt att tro.
Ja, helt otroligt.
Vi gratulerar till den nya bilen. Varsågod.
Alright, so that's that on that. So let's look at another one and you get the idea clearly.
Content marketing. Joe Pulizzi describes it as creating interesting information your customers are passionate about, so they actually pay attention to you. Content strategist and author Keith Blanchard believes content marketing is about engaging consumers with the stuff they really want in a way that serves your brand's purposes and ideals, rather than just trying to jam your logo into their periphery. But it's nothing new. It began over 100 years ago when John Deere launched a magazine called The Furrow. P&G dipped a toe into the water as their detergent brands sponsored the first radio soap opera in 1932. In fact, it's where the term soap opera comes from. And in 1987, Lego turned publisher with the launch of Lego Brick Kicks. Some of today's biggest brands are doing it too. In 2004, Microsoft launched its successful video blog, Channel 9, to communicate directly with developers. In 2012, Coca-Cola turned its website into a digital magazine, hiring a team of over 40 writers to develop highly curated, branded content. Some brands have taken content marketing to the extreme. Just look at the content Red Bull publishes. Across a host of channels, from print publishing to films and music, Red Bull has seamlessly and strategically integrated their brand into content their audience craves. Slightly less adventurous but equally successful is American Express. Small businesses around the world flock to their open forum for useful articles, videos, and business tools. It's both content and a service, enabling American Express to provide essential information to help small businesses survive. Open Forum's long-standing commitment to blending quality content with a passionate community allowed us to help small businesses, providing them with the advice they need to be successful. Content marketing works. Some of the world's biggest brands are believers, putting content marketing at the center of their marketing strategy. And at the center of content marketing is powerful visual content. Both images and video can help you tell your stories quickly, with impact. But they have to be the right visuals. Visual content that is both authentic and relevant to your brand evokes emotion and a deeper level of engagement with your audience. At Getty Images, that's what we do. We provide powerful visual content that helps our customers tell their stories.
Alright, so that explains it. Okay, so now basically looking at this, you realize that content marketing is what big brands do, and then content marketing is basically getting to the emotions of the audience, getting to instigate the emotions, getting to, create an appeal to the emotions of the audience. That's one. Then two, it's about storytelling. We saw the first first video. The storytelling was the major idea. How the company rather, intentionally sparked the emotional, side of the customers or the prospects by telling them you won't buy this car, and it's doesn't appeal to logic, and people don't buy logic, and people buy because of emotions. Whether they buy because things make them happy, things make them sad, things make them look good, things make them look bad, things are for the posterity. They want to blend with and how. That's what people buy. So those are emotions, and buying is based on emotions, not based on logic most times. So content marketing appeals to emotions, and that's what we saw in those two videos. Okay, so it's also the emotions of a person that gets the better of him most times when he makes purchases. So the idea is storytelling. Is storytelling. Look at this now. The second slide tells us that content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable consumer action. You can do storytelling, tell people advantages, tell people disadvantages, tell people, basically the idea of a brand, tell people what you want to achieve for them. Let it be about them, not about you, basically. And that's content marketing. And basically you are providing the audience. You are basically delivering to the audience what they want to hear. You are basically patronizing, in quotes, the audience. So approaches to content marketing means that it's an approach to sell the idea of a product, not the product itself. It's storytelling. It's a way of putting yourself in front of the audience and making yourself appear as a generous expert, more like you are. For instance, I'm a real estate expert, and I'm telling people how not to buy land, what not to buy in the land, what to look forward for out for in the land, what kind of tax documents to look out for, what to avoid, and how to avoid pitfalls and all that. I'm basically just looking out for their good, And if they want to buy a property, they probably most likely will be looking for the person who's looking out for their good. It's not always about what a brand says, but rather about how the brand is perceived. Perception is key. Perception is everything. Content marketing breeds loyalty, brings trust, yes, meaningful insights. and also a lot of more things. It also depends on how a brand is perceived and how the story of the brand is told. Look at Coca-Cola. What they did was just a magazine, and they began to tell stories. Look at the P&G company. Till today, we refer to those programs as soap operas, and that's because P&G decided to do content marketing. Now, it seeks to please the audience and pleads to the audience, and then it seeks to be informative as well. It seeks to reward followership. Look at what the car company did. They rewarded followership. That's content marketing. They did adverts, and after a while they wanted an organic generation of content, and they wanted their contents to go viral organically. Organic means that without adverts, and then after the adverts, people shared and shared and shared and shared, it began to go viral organically. And their pages grew. The ROI they saw was more from organic than from paid, and that was because they employed content marketing in the paid adverts. So when you are thinking content marketing, sometimes you also spend money on content marketing as well. Now, content marketing brings it seeks to please the audience, and it's also informative. It seeks to reward followership. Content marketing rewards followership. We can say that for. Now, pop culture and trends will do well for content marketing. Now, it's important that you note that when events are happening, when there are trends on Twitter, a company has to follow through with those things, because at that time it's a popular or culture, at that time it's a trend, and you see brands trying to appeal to the youth. It means that they are trying to blend with pop culture. That's content marketing as well. The content marketing appeals to the emotions and logic in a timely manner. It also involves the use of mails and e-commerce emails, just transitional mails that seem to drive this exact point. So it's always consistent. In content marketing, don't add sell, not buy now, buy now, buy now. That's for content marketing. Content marketing is telling the idea of a product and probably just putting one link and say, can you buy this and all that. So in content marketing, you engage your audience, your audience speaks back to you and all that, you also speak back to them. Content marketing is an interjection of what you know and what your audience care about. Now, it's not about what you care about, it's about what your audience care about. That's content marketing and what you know. You can use images for content marketing, just like we saw with Getty Images. You can use graphic arts, you can use some graphic artworks for content marketing. You can use videos for content marketing. Should you have a need for whiteboard videos, we can also talk about how to create a whiteboard video for your brand. It comes at 50,000 naira. You can do podcasts. Podcasts are recorded audios, just like you found on soundcloud.com. You can use articles, you can use blog posts, you can use an email, you can use music for content marketing. Just to achieve these things listed here, you can use any of this for that content marketing purpose. Okay, now rules for content marketing. For images, use textual, contextual text, use alternative text, and use acknowledgements, and use keywords. Now these are for content marketing and as well as for SEO. We'll get to this, explain all of this in SEO. Okay, now for videos, you need to define your audience, just like we used on YouTube. Use YouTube adverts. We also saw in that content marketing videos that you also should know that it should not be longer than 2 minutes, really, because the attention lifespan of an internet user is 60 to 90 seconds. So the first 30 seconds or thereabouts, if you are not able to say what you want to say, your video might not be seen to the end. If your first 5 seconds are not interesting, are not the cue, and are not able to deliver, you might not just work. So avoid content mismatch. Make sure the content you are sending is to the right audience and at the right time. At the right time, so it's important. A voiceover can work in a video you create yourself, and that will be fine. So make it professional as well. Podcast too, let it be pre-recorded, let it be professional. Articles too, keep them updated, keep them clear and understandable. Compelling headlines as well should be the headlines for your articles. Make paragraphs short and simple. Keep the idea of the sentence in a paragraph, like we learned back in school. Maintain the idea of a sentence in a paragraph. Don't write two ideas in a paragraph, and make your blog posts informal. Don't write formal posts, make them informal. Do avoid jargons, and avoid using just languages that are limited to some professionals alone. Make sure it's universally accepted language, but make sure you are social and conversational at the same time too. You are not speaking like a robot. You are not typing like a robot. You are typing to blend with the culture of the particular audience you are talking to, and then you can end your post with a call to action. Call to action is a CTA, and it's a link to buy whatever you are selling. So for instance, I talk in a mail about 10 reasons you should buy land now before you are 40. After I have given all those 10 reasons, at the end of the 10 reasons below, I should put a link to my website where they can actually buy that. So it's not ad selling that way. I'm just putting one link after I've given them all the advantages. Now, tips for content marketing. Average attention of a good span is 9 seconds. Did I say 9 seconds earlier, 60 to 90 seconds? Okay, 60 to 90 seconds. I meant to say 6 to 9 seconds. It's 9 seconds, and then average attention span of internet user is just 6 to 9 seconds. 6 to 9 seconds, not 60 to 90 seconds. Please pardon. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, and LinkedIn can be used for content marketing. Creating content marketing and content strategy. Okay, either use a professional approach, just like LinkedIn occasional. LinkedIn is content marketing. What she's doing is that she's selling stories and stories that appeal to the youths. She's giving the youths gist, gossips, which is what they want, and thereby getting paid for it. Companies pay her for adverts. She's a Google partner, so she has a Google partnership, and things like that. That's more like a personal approach content marketing. And higher purpose content marketing is like that of Andela. If you're not heard of Andela, Andela is a company that teaches web design, web development for 6 to 5 years or thereabouts. It's for free, but for those 5 years you would be paid salaries and all that. And what they are doing is basically exporting talents. So for those 5 years or thereabouts, you will learn there and all that. They're exporting talents, but of course you do a lot to get in. So that's an higher approach, higher purpose rather, content marketing. Write a value proposition statement for your brand. Make sure your brand has a value proposition statement. That's how you can channel your content marketing right. Name images with keywords and alternatives. That's also part of SEO and content marketing. We'll also talk about that. Use tent posts. Tent posts are events and pop cultures one uses to trend. For instance, now, political terrain in Nigeria, things keep happening, and you can also trend with that. You avoid the politics, but find a way to trend while those things are trending. Find a way to enter the trend. That's it. Okay. Now, lastly, we look at content marketing is putting yourself forward as a pseudo expert. You can read all of those things about content marketing, and it's important. So that's just it. So what all these adverts I've been teaching, you can use all of them for content marketing, but basically understand the idea. Your relevance, your articles, your blog posts, your artworks, just name it. Your Facebook adverts can all be storytelling, but you must have a strategy, like we talked about at the beginning of this course. You must have a strategy. You must have a sound, clear strategy, and you must also have a value proposition statement for your brand. With that, you will know where to go, your directions, where to head. All right, so thank you. That's that about content marketing. Like I would always say, if you have any questions whatsoever, please email me, and we'll talk about it. All right, thank you.